Hello everybody, how you doing? I'm James, this is Jen, we're the Mom 40s, and today we're in, now we're drinking, we're in Cancun, the lovely, actually we're in Playa Mujeres. Yeah, we're on vacation, Alaska's crying, she's having a little trouble adjusting to the napping, but she's calming down, I hear her now, I guess not, actually she's just like,
But in our defense,
we don't let her cry to sleep or anything like that,
she's
just adjusting, and she has to take a nap because she's absolutely tired. I feel a little tired. Had a long day yesterday, crappy sleep. Vacation. So much fun with the child. Do you guys hear her? I want to hear her.
Oh, no, this is our third time going in trying to record, and she's crying. And Alaska is the type that, unless you're gonna literally stand carrying her while she sleeps, she will continue to cry. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you go in and check in on her. So it gets to the point that we're just like, okay, we just have to let her cry a little bit, and eventually she kind of gets to the point that we're not gonna
Yeah, it don't go past like 5 minutes. People are gonna lose their shit about that, but
yeah, well, it works for us
sometimes. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fuck you, okay?
I mean, we check in on her. It's not like we just let her cry, but after a while, if it doesn't help, then we just kind of let her.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Because we let her sleep with us yesterday, so I think that's why she's crying.
Nap wise, not
not
sleep.
in the night.
We're not doing that. We never did that actually, and I don't think we ever will. I don't want to, because I don't know. Everybody I've heard who said like the one time they let her rock, they never went back.
Look at us paying for it today.
But yeah, right. Fuck yeah, you're right, dude. One nap.
Because she was falling asleep in her high chair in the restaurant. This was 3 hours ago. And now she refuses. And she probably wants us to like hold her while she naps. But then it's like, when do we get a break if we're napping with you too?
When do we get a break? That's what we need.
And Miss Alaska has been having a ball with the water, so we don't get a break. Well, more James, because he's holding her the whole time.
Yeah. Because the thing that sucks is because like she knows I love the water, I love the beach. I mean, I prefer the beach to the pool and shit, but I just want to like swim and like chill. She wants to like chill. She can't really swim, but she can kind of swim. You know, but then with the baby, you can't do nothing. You just gotta be like,
no, she's like,
yeah, going nuts. And then the other thing too is that in the beach, you know, you have the waves. So now you have to be like, oh, we gotta lift you up. Oh, okay. Because in the water heads and then you know like the waves push you too, so it's even so now you have to like double focus on your balance, whereas before they'd be by yourself, you're just like, I'm carrying by myself. And that's gotta make sure you like stay shoulder above water
to keep her alive.
And it's a workout. Not even a workout, it's just like mental workout.
And then we bought her a life vest, but we were like, this was kind of pointless because the life vest that she has, she's going forward. So it's like you still have to watch her or you can't let her go because she would go forward.
And we thought that shit was a good idea too.
We thought it was gonna just help her like
like alleviate, kind of like it's too. She needs a float, like a tube.
Yeah, like a round.
We want to talk about. That was just our intro.
Talking about parenting, we were talking about oh look, but she got quiet.
I know she did. So we just wanted to do was like a slight ventilation on people.
Is that venting?
Nah, it's a joke. Thanks. So we want to do a slight ventilation. Oh, well, actually we did. But so we were here last year, and we've been to Mexico in the last 4 years of our lives, and I don't know if because Alaska's getting older, but now I think I'm noticing it more. How, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say like neglectful parents are, but god damn, there's a lot of fucking kids, bro, with iPads. They're like zombies. Straight up. Everywhere you go, there's like a kid like this. And they got these big ass fucking headphones on. So they can't hear the parents, and the parents can't hear nothing they play. And they're just like this. It's so sad. I'm like, why are you here? Leave them home. Why even bring them?
If they could, they would, bro.
If they could, they would. It's crazy. There's mad kids.
Yeah, and like me and James were talking about it, and I'm like, it's one thing if like your kid is older or whatever age you decide to give them this iPad, but I feel like there has to be a time limit on it because there's freaking research that shows that children should not be having a lot of screen time. We've seen it with Alaska when she watches a lot of screen time. After a while, what it does. So I feel like there comes a point that yeah, and she cannot concentrate. I mean, they already really can't focus at her age, but it's even worse when she does watch TV or not watch. Yeah, when she watches TV, she doesn't use the iPad at home. But
yeah, she don't.
and it's one thing if you occasionally, or like if they're in the room, like sometimes if we're here hanging out in the room getting ready to go eat, we let her watch something so that she just is doing something if she doesn't feel like playing. But we see it in the restaurant. We see it walking to the beach. We see it walking to the restaurant. Like there's moments that it's like the child can't just like
be.
Yeah,
just be. That's it. You don't have to finish the sentence.
Yeah, just taking in whatever is happening around them. And then you see it like the parents will try to talk to the kid, and obviously the kid is absorbed by the iPad, so they're not even paying attention. And then some parents get frustrated when like the kid is not listening. And it's like, what did you expect was going to happen if you have a freaking
you never
iPad?
Communicated anyway.
Yeah, and this is now what the second trip having Alaska, where we go to like a family resort, and it is like almost every other child you see has an iPad. We saw a kid this morning on the phone in the stroller on the way to the beach. We saw them in the restaurant. The kid had the phone the whole time. So who knows when that kid got a screen break? So it's little things like that it's like,
yeah, they never get
why are you on your phone at the beach? Like, the kid should be playing with water, playing with sand. Like, there's so much that a kid can do at a beach that they can have fun with. And so we were just like, it becomes a thing where it's like, what is the purpose? Like, what are you trying to teach your child at that
They're
point?
They're not. That's the thing. I just...
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like, and I'm not going to lie, with me and James, and we will go back to the whole, like, we're not perfect parents and we don't judge, but there's also a thing, I think.
It's a mean but.
Yeah, with screen time, that I think there's a fine line between like,
where it's like, there's like a decent amount, and then there's like, okay, this is ridiculous now.
Yeah,
because as far as I'm concerned, not even developmentally aside, communication aside, relationship aside, everything aside, you paid for them to be here. Right? Mm-hmm. You better use that fucking sand. Mm-hmm. I paid your flight. For real. I paid
and all the
your
shit
stay.
You gotta pack for these damn kids.
Fuck that, dude.
And that's the other thing too.
Costs way less to keep your ass at home.
But again, they probably can't do it, and that's why the kids here.
Well, someone else they're gonna do it. They're just gonna give them the iPad.
Yeah, but
that was the only parents.
Yeah, and I think it takes more discipline as the parent to say you're not getting screen time, and that's why I think the easy way out is screen time. Yes, again, if you're at home, you're chilling, the kid wants to watch an iPad, you have to cook, things like that. It makes sense. But when you're on vacation, it's like, do we really need an iPad? I don't know. Like, and again, to each its own. To each its own. To each their own.
Yeah.
Whatever. For us, that is.
The next one.
That is what works for us. Like, we do not let Alaska watch anything when we're out eating. When we're having dinner at home, we're watching TV together as a family. Like, everyone is involved.
Like a real American.
And usually me and Dan are talking about the show, so we're not even watching it. That's why
half the time we be
rewinding
everything.
It takes forever because we're usually talking about the show or something that comes up in conversation because of the show. So obviously Alaska is becoming now aware
and then we'll go like 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, and then we gotta rewind again. So it's like, for us, we like the interaction, and it's like, also, isn't it nice to be at a restaurant that you're just eating and your child could just like go in, like participate in your conversation instead of just being like they don't need to look at
it's
you,
just like, oh, go, fuck off.
Yeah, and it makes me think
fuck off in your phone.
And I feel like it's because that's the easier route. Like, it's easier to just give your kid a device and be like, here, take this, and I don't gotta deal with your shit. You know, like, even at home, I remember when Alaska was like, when was it that we decided to come to screen time?
When you were letting her watch?
Well, how old was she?
She was young. She was probably like 6-7 months.
No, we cut it after that because she was a year old. Like what we said, like we have to. That was a few months ago.
Before a year, I think.
No, that was a few months ago, baby.
I don't think so.
Because it was when we.
It wasn't that recent.
Yes, we cut it off when you put the TV in the bedroom. That wasn't that long ago. Because that's when Dolly and them were over and she wanted to watch TV in that other room, and that's when I was like, oh, I think it's time. She was probably like 15 months. It was a few months after her.
I know, but I've been popping off a little bit. You know, like putting my foot down either. So I'm saying like, I think she watches a lot of TV.
Oh, well, now we were also in vacation mode, so that was...
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about back then.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, though, that during that time, I remember that sometimes James would throw his little, like, subtle, like, well, you should cut off her screen time. And I would get mad, and I would say, you're not the one home with her, it's a lot, blah, 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 you're not dealing with her. And a part of me knew that what I was doing to me did not feel right. And it was crazy because we didn't even show her. Alaska didn't watch TV to start looking at the TV till maybe 3-4 months in.
Yeah, probably.
Remember, it took us a little bit to like even show her like a baby show because I was just I'm with her and I wanted to just get that one-on-one time with her, and like we just would not watch TV. Also because she wasn't up long, so when she was up, I didn't want her watching a TV. I wanted to be interacting with her and for her to learn my face, me to learn her. So I just didn't give her.
And half of the time she was crying anyway, so she was fucking useless anyway.
Yeah, so I didn't show her a TV till she was like 3-4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months. I don't even remember. But then once I showed her the TV, I kind of just left it there as background noise. And then I remember a little bit after the year, James was like, Jen, you don't think like she watches a little bit too much TV? And at first I was like, are you crazy? And then once my sisters came to our house, there was a day that she wanted to watch TV, and we had just put a TV in the bedroom, and Alaska insisted to watch TV in the bedroom because she didn't want to watch what they were watching in the living room. And me, to not deal with it, like not deal with her meltdown in that moment, I was just like, okay, we'll go to the bedroom. And then after they left, I was like, that is so messed up. Like, I just let my daughter, who was just one, run the show to just not deal with her meltdown and look rude to my sisters, because it's like my sisters are here to spend time with my daughter and me, not to just be in another room watching a TV show.
And your sister said something because she kept wanting to watch TV.
Well, she didn't say anything till after the fact, like once we had the conversation. But then, so that day that happened, and then
because Alaska would just ask for, but what? Why can't I remember what the hell she would ask for? She would ask for like one thing specifically. It'd usually be like something with super simple songs, but she was she was like, or she would say like Baby Shark.
Oh, Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That stuff she would say, but she would mostly say like ask for the TV remote, and that was her cue of wanting the TV on. And so the next day she asked for the TV remote, and me to test like her how she was about the TV. I told her no, girl lost it. It was a whole meltdown.
That's how you know that.
And so that's when I was like, oof. And then I thought about how that had just happened with my sisters, and I was like, oh shit, maybe James does have a point. Even though in my head I already knew it, but I felt like I was like triggered. Like I felt like James was telling me what to do, and I didn't want to hear it because he was telling me to do it. And in my head I was just like, you're not the one home with her. The days are long. Like,
mind you, what's funny is that you listen to me with
what?
Like tons of things.
Oh, I know, but I think it was more
like without batting an eyelash.
But I
usually
think
if I say something, you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was because it was something I had to do, and I didn't feel like doing it. I was basically projecting like and I knew it was wrong, but I was taking it out on like, James, you don't know what it's like. You cannot have an opinion. But
I don't know what it's like. I'm not with her all day.
But deep down inside, I knew that James had a point, and
but you gotta
that's
fix
not
it for
cool.
tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's when I started to realize that I was like, the screen time is not necessary. And even after that, I feel like that's why when we go to restaurants, yes, she might have a little hard time if she's in the mood or she's tired, but she can sit pretty well. And I think that has to do with us cutting her screen time. Because before that, she couldn't sit for too long. Like, yeah, sometimes we have to get her up because Alaska just likes to move. But I feel like us cutting her screen time does help, even with discipline. Because remember, she was having crazy meltdowns during that time. Like, if you told her no for anything,
she no or no thank you. Oh my god,
blow up. It was a full like throwing herself on the floor. And I feel like after we so basically I would just let her eat when she eats. That's the only let her eat when she eats. Let her watch TV when she eats. When she was done eating, it's time to play, and the TV is off. And now she'll ask for the TV remote, and we'll tell her no, and she's fine. Like, she'll try it, and then she's like, okay, whatever. But I always tell James, like, I think the screen time, a part of it is that a parent doesn't want to deal with having to be with a child. It's too much interaction, and so it's easier to just give them something. For, like, if you let them... Yeah, to like distract them, like of
because
course.
That shit works.
Yeah, and again, if you gotta get shit done, I get it because I do the same thing. If I have to do something in the kitchen, I try to put the TV on. Yeah, but there comes a time where you're like, okay, she's had a lot of TV during the day. Right now, it's not a good time for her to watch TV. And then now you see it in the resort because it's like the kids don't even socialize with the parents because
they don't even like look up.
No,
they don't even like them.
You don't even know they're there,
dude. So yesterday, we're gonna segue into worse things. I guess it's
This
worse.
is bad parenting.
Yo, dude. So there's this thing. They got like this little space you can go. I feel like it's not even like light out. There's a little space you can go to play with your kid. Look at me. Hey, I look different. So Alaska wanted to go in there because it was right next to the. Oh, just check the screen.
Yes.
Look at your wedgie. So we go in there. She's out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she definitely needed it. She was definitely tired. So we go in, and this is where you go. Like you drop your kids off. Just let them watch, like when you go to dinner or whatever, have a drink, have some downtime, whatever. I get it. Oh, I'm not here. But some of these parents went in there with a fucking agenda. Like you could just tell they couldn't wait to drop these kids off. So one family, they came in. So this guy, we seen this guy earlier, right? So this dude, why you looking for him? He's putting.
I'm already down there.
So this dude, first of all, he walks real funny, right? So he walks like he sways his hips like crazy. I don't know, weird. So someone said something to him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my kids now." Mind you, this guy like clearly been drinking. Then so later that night, which is yesterday, he comes in with the wife, and they throw their daughter in there, and she's like, "Okay, you're good, bye." And the girl who works there is like,
you're missing. She threw the daughter in there, and the son was supposed to follow.
yeah.
The son decided that he didn't want to be in there, and they're both. The girl's probably like 5, the boy's like 4, 3, 4, and so the boy runs out. So the mom is annoyed. She's like, "Why don't you want to come in here, Lola?" So he's like, "I don't want to go in there." So he starts crying. So she kind of just like, ah. So she's gonna go shut the door to the little daycare center, and the worker's like, "No, ma'am, I need you to sign here." So she's trying to like just close the door, like she's trying to
Like literally closing the door on the girl that works
and
there.
she's trying to give the
Just drop
worker
her
like
kid
her
off.
name, I guess, because she just wanted the worker to sign for her, and the worker's like, "No, I need you to like actually sign." So you can see her, she's like, and so she goes to sign whatever. She ends up leaving. Then today we see them again.
And the girl looked like defeated.
Oh yeah, the girl.
I felt so bad. She's like cute, like young little girl, man. Like,
and
you
that's
just
the
tell
thing, like,
like,
I told James too, like I feel like if we were to do that in the future for Alaska, like I would sit and play with Alaska, let her read the room a little bit so she knows what's happening. Like I wouldn't just like, okay, go in there, see you in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like explain to her what's happening, especially because now the brother's not in there with her, so she might be like, oh, what happened? Like
why does he get to stay out? You know?
yeah, and I'm
An
here.
asshole.
You know, like it didn't seem like she was asking to go in there. It seemed like they just kind of put her there and whatever. So then today we see them again, and they both were old. So what was the
Still drinking,
Yeah,
and the girl nowhere to be found.
Oh yeah, we didn't really see the daughter, so we're assuming she was back in the little room thing. But we saw the son, so I think the son has just continued to fight and refuses to go in there. But then we saw him in the pool.
And they look like they want nothing to do with him either.
Yeah, every time he like would talk to them, they're like,
They just look like they're so bothered that they have them in their lives that it's just like, you did it twice though?
And then apparently the husband, well no, me and James heard the husband say like,
Oh, he told the wife, like, so he thought this was like a flex or something like that. He was like, oh, I did something funny. And he was like, when I did the sign-in to drop the kid off, they asked you where you're gonna be, and he was like, I put not here.
So
that's a flex.
yeah, so it's like you should be, first of all, God
fucking
forbid,
loser, dude.
yeah, something happens to your daughter.
With your hips.
They don't have anywhere to find you because you didn't put your location, you idiot. And second of all, like that's not funny, and because that worker could get in trouble too. Like obviously she doesn't know that he might have put that, or maybe she didn't see it, so now it could fall back on her. So it's like you think you're being funny, but there could be like a million problems because of what you just did. And like the wife just ignored him. That's the other thing. Me and James, well, I told James, I was like, she looks miserable with him. She looks miserable with the kids. She looks like she's over life right now. Like she's just like they're on vacation and they're not even on vacation. Like they're like so upset that they're on vacation. And we always talk about that. Like parenting is exhausting. We all freaking know it. Everyone that has kids knows that children are not easy. And when you can get a break, go for it times 100. Like just go get the break. But there's also a way to do it, and that's not the way to do it. And also, if you choose to have a child, like it could be exhausting, but you have to sacrifice yourself for that child because you decided to bring that child into this world. Parents think that when the child is done after a certain age, that they're done parenting, and it's kind of like, oh, that's it. Like I'll just be here giving you the necessities, like feeding you, making sure you have clothes, and that's kind of it. And it's like, there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
I got in trouble for that.
Well, I was giving a point, but then you didn't. I'm trying to bring up the topic again.
Yeah, you mad hot, bro.
It's hot as shit.
Calm down.
It's humid.
Yeah, and I was saying that to go up her point is that each stage is to set them up for the next stage. So if you fuck up here, you might get a little rough next spot. So because I think as of right now, like a lot of the things we did make a video a while ago. If you go look at our YouTube, so like and subscribe and go watch our other videos. Worth Them on 40s. I'm James, that's Jen. So if you go watch, we were talking about how we think newborns are more difficult than toddlers, and tons of people are like, no, toddlers are toddlers, and I'm just like, think about it. But you guys just fucked up a little bit because I don't think it's that bad. And Alaska's crazy.
She's nuts.
She's really nuts, and she cried a hell of a lot during her newborn stages, and she has meltdowns now. But you know what? I'll say this much: tell me not that her meltdowns are significantly less, what's the word, like crazy? I don't want to say the word crazy because it's not crazy, but I can't think of the word. Like her meltdowns
less
are
severe.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, less severe for sure. Because now she'll throw herself on the floor. She might bug out a little bit, but I think she knows at this point that when she's chill, she'll get the thing.
Yeah.
So it's not rewarding. It's just saying, okay,
or that
we understand. Like me and Jen, we understand that. Okay, you can't. Shit just happens, and you can't control all your emotions. Adults can't control their emotions. So I don't know why we like go mad hard on kids and stuff having meltdowns. But I think by the way we've handled her meltdown, sometimes me and her are like, oh, maybe we should do that, or maybe we should do this, but whatever. But for the most part, I think by and large, she's pretty chill, honestly. All things considered, as a toddler, I think just like more so when she's tired is when her shit is like a little worse. But even still, again, she'll throw herself on the floor, and like we're not gonna be like, it's just like, okay.
No, we might be a little.
I'm not gonna get stressed out because you're stressed out, because it's just gonna make you more stressed, and it's gonna make me more stressed.
And she picks up on that.
And she does pick up on it.
She sees that we're like already like on edge. She knows because of the way she reacts, and it usually makes her get more upset. So it's like seeing that helps us know that like you gotta stay as calm as you can when you can, and that doesn't mean that we don't lose it, because I know I have my moments that I just like.
You do? When?
That I'll yell at her, or I give her like really bad attitude because I get annoyed. But and it's not even a yell. To me, it's like a laugh.
One day, I don't remember what was happening, but she was in the kitchen and Alaska was being mad and annoying. I think Jen was watching this and she was like, Alaska, shut up. Just shut up.
You see, so I'll do things like that where I know that she's far away, that she will not catch, and that's part of me just.
And I'll be there. I'm like, yo, you be so angry, man.
Because sometimes she just gets under my skin. But again, I feel like, as like James said, if you don't do things right in one stage, it's gonna trickle into, it's gonna spill into the next stage.
Or at least try to do it.
With Alaska, we try to be very intentional, and again, we are not perfect, because I feel like sometimes you see parents talking about things, and then people will be like, oh, they act like they never been through these things, and it's like, no, we're not. We're aware of problems that arise in children, and we do not want to give children more issues than what they already have to deal with, because they're growing up and they're learning life. So it's like, why? Because for my poor self-regulation, why am I going to give you terrible coping skills because I just suck? So it's like, I feel like toddlerhood for us has been easier because we had to deal with a crazy child as a newborn.
Yeah. But
then again, I go back to the screen time thing, where I feel like a lot of parents are uncomfortable. Either they don't want to deal with the meltdowns because they just don't have the space for it, or emotionally they cannot deal with the meltdown, so they just give in to the child. And so I think that's when toddlerhood becomes very overwhelming for the parent internally, because I feel like if you tell yourself, I'm not going to discipline them, I'm just going to give them this iPad, or I'm just going to say yes because I cannot deal with what comes after. Where I feel like if you prepare yourself deep inside to be like, even if you're upset, but to tell yourself, this is the limit that I'm trying to set, and it's not going to, there's nothing that can stop me from setting that limit, then I feel like stuff gets better. And I feel like with the iPad, that's usually the
Sooner or
thing
later, yeah.
on vacation where it becomes like, I don't want to deal with this kid. I just need a fucking mental break. So I'm gonna give this kid an iPad so I could eat my food in peace. And then that's the other thing too. They're not even interacting with each other.
And that shit feels good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it feels good, but it's like,
that's a whole other conversation.
what's the end goal? You know, like you came on vacation with
For y'all
your
both to
family.
be like this.
And I get it too because
That's why your kid the same way.
Me and James do that in bed. Like when we go to bed.
Yeah, but who the fuck got anything to say? I'm dead.
But yeah,
I'm ready to go to sleep. I don't got time for your ass.
But when we're having dinner, we're not on our phones. Once we're done with dinner, we might go on our phones.
Yeah, I feel like
to
our
see
whole
what's
show
happening.
thing stopped completely because of
Yeah, because we're just talking. So it's like, what are you?
there's something
teaching them?
on just for noise.
Yeah, but I think
Like,
it's
other
this
than that.
internal thing for the parent, not for the child, and it's this discomfort that parents don't want to deal with. And I think I told James like that's why when we cut off Alaska's screen time, deep inside I knew that it was wrong because I felt like I was purposely keeping the TV on because I felt like, oh my God, what if she wants me all the time and she wants to play with me all the time? And it's like, okay, if she wants that, then you set the limit.
Like, be
that
grateful for
I
that,
can
though, too.
that too, but I can play with you now, Alaska. But if I have to do this thing, I have to step away and I
Yeah.
have to be ready to deal with those emotions that she brings on because of that. And I think for some parents, it's very hard to be aware of that and to be ready to deal with it. And so it's like, here's this thing so I can just like breathe. Oh, should I hear her?
Is that her?
Yeah, that's her. All right, guys, we're gonna cut this one.
I just want to say one other thing too, like going off your point, like a lot of parents, when you see them with meltdowns, it's like I don't know why they get like this secondhand embarrassment, and no, right? But
Which
it's
is
like,
embarrassing.
one, you not having the meltdown, and two, it's like everyone has seen this, but it's not like your kid is the first one that someone has seen have a meltdown.
Yeah.
They all do it at all times, so it's like you're not special.
Yeah.
Like, what are you embarrassed about? The fucking kid. Of course, they're gonna have a meltdown. That's what they do. And sometimes you hear that shit they lose their shit about. It's the dumbest thing in the world, but it's because it's big to them. But
yeah, but I feel like I don't feel embarrassed anymore. It's just like annoying that I know somebody's watching me.
Speaking of annoying,
baby's crying. So we are gonna cut this short. Let us know your thoughts about screen time. Well, we have to get ready for dinner soon anyway. But
yeah.
All right,
guys.
What a topic to talk about. But take care. Bye bye.